welcome to the Truth Shall Set You Free podcast. My name is Tamara. This is my cousin Chell. We'll be doing this podcast together, bringing the world truth. Not only truth, making uncomfortable conversations, healing journeys. My journey started. What made this podcast come about is I lost my husband in March of 2025. Months later, I buried the father I always knew to be my biological father in August. Months later, after that, I found out that the man that I thought was my biological father was not my biological father through my children, my twins, doing ancestry. My last name is Watford. My cousin Chell, last name is Watford. And through DNA, Chell had already did the ancestry. So I knew for sure that he would be on my ancestry. But when my daughter called me and told me she didn't see Chell or anyone with the last name Walker on the ancestry, I then asked her to share her screen with me so I could see what she was talking about. And she was absolutely right. No Watford was on my DNA at all. And the craziest thing about it is my cousin Chell's first cousin from his mother's side was the fifth person on my ancestry. I grew up with her. I already knew exactly who she was when I seen it, and that just puzzled me even more. Because this, again, we cousins, you know what I mean? Because Chell's cousins are my cousins, but not expecting her to be on my DNA. I'm expecting him to be on my DNA. So that was led, just all my life changing in a 360 span in a year, brought about this podcast. That's how we ended up here. And again, I'm at the point in my life where we really need to start making uncomfortable stories healing journeys. And I feel like this will help me heal. And I feel like others who, not comfortable enough to share their story, not comfortable enough to speak about it, will get comfortable, because there's a lot of this going on, and it really needs to be talked about. So that's what led me and Chell here to the Truth Shall Set You Free podcast.
Well, first of all, I like to commend you, cuz, for the strength it took to, get out and, get this off your chest, and, don't be afraid, because like you said, that's been a stigma in not only the black community, but
yes.
I'm sure other, races go through the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
The old saying, mama's baby, daddy's babies.
babies.
You know what I'm saying? So now with I heard you mention ancestry, and a lot of us, there's that old stigma, I don't want to go on there because, they might turn my shit over to the police or whatever the fact may be with your DNA, but I think we got to kind of break through those stigmas and those, those things to sit back.
Yes.
And stop being afraid of science,
I agree.
DNA is the ultimate science. It's been around since the 1800s, but they recently only in the 1980s something where they started using it for parental, to find out who's the daddy, basically, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of us in the 70s and beyond that, the whole thing was, hey, take it to my grandmama, take it to my mama.
Yeah.
And
they
grandmama or the mama determine who the baby. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Sometimes they got it right.
Yeah.
But as we all know, sometimes they do, because they say we all look alike. So
and you couldn't tell me and Sheldon look. I mean, people have been that my whole life. So.
That's how it is. So I commend you once again, cuz, for coming forth, sharing your story.
Yes.
Is like I told you before, it's your decision, and everybody who loves you or whatever have to respect the way you want to handle it. Some people say, "Oh, I would have never told nobody. I would have put the brand in it." But to us, that's kind of being fake.
Truth. Absolutely.
The truth, like the name of the shit.
Yeah, we stand
free. Nobody wanna, and nothing hurts a kid more than finding out years later.
Yes.
That ain't their daddy.
51
you know what I'm saying?
years.
So
51 years up.
We got to clear that up with a lot of the women, and I'm not putting it all on women or whatever, but that's one thing we do know for sure. The woman knows. I mean, it's coming from the woman. She might not know who the father is, but she knows she the mama.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
We just gotta clear that up, black
Yes.
people and everybody, and stop being afraid to find out, and let kids know the earliest possible
Yeah,
the truth.
the truth, yeah.
Because you might think you are helping them by not telling them, but
But you're
if
not.
they ever find out in the end, you know, look, unfortunately, you and your mom got a great relationship, and Miss
Yes.
Alice, you know what I'm saying, whatever, but a lot of kids hate their parents forever for that, even though it
Yeah.
might not be the parents' fault. We gotta
Yeah.
keep in mind.
True.
You
Some
go-
of us young.
You go,
My mom was
go look
16.
back, 16, 17,
Yes,
y'all know
my
what we
mom
were
was
doing at that
15.
age, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, so.
Mhm.
Hey, you can't blame the parents when
No.
they're young like that. Now,
Yeah.
you older women in your 30s and 40s still put
Yeah.
the baby on another
Yeah,
brother.
now that's
That's
the
wrong.
bullshit.
But we,
I'm
you
with
know,
my cousin on that
right,
one.
but, you know, the young teenagers, we all know how it is. So don't
Yeah.
nobody blame nobody. But you know, we just need to, you know, not be afraid to get to the truth.
I agree with that. So again, that's what led us here to this podcast. You know, it's a lot of this going on. I've had people already reach out to me that's interested coming on the podcast after they heard that me and Chill was gonna start this, you know what I mean? And it needs to be talked about, you know, and, you know, it might be people out there that have been thinking about possibly, do I wanna do the DNA? Do I wanna know the truth? Maybe this will help them, you know, stand in their truth, you know what I'm saying? Cause the truth will truly set you free. It has, as hurtful as it has been, you know what I mean? Cause even me and Chair, we cousins, but we like brother and sister, you know what I mean? So regardless of the DNA, that can't change what has been created for decades and years, and the love and the bond and everything that we have. That can't change. And I know people be afraid of that, afraid of, you know, how their family gonna feel. If people love you for real, they gonna stand in your truth with you. And if they don't, then they didn't need to be in your life no way. You know what I mean? Kick rocks,
Right,
straight up.
right,
So
right.
that's
Mhm.
how I feel about that.
So, cuz, what led you on this journey with this whole thing? Did you just wake up one morning and be like, hey, you know, hey, was it
No.
something you always thought about, or?
I never even thought about it. My daddy Cosmo was never, for the record, my father, that's been my father all my life, name is Cosmo, Nathan Watford. The man that is now my father, biologically name is Gary Allen Wright Sr. My daddy Cosmo, they call him Modi in the streets, and my daddy Gary, they call Fetch. Both of them kind of the same type of, you know what I mean? Because ain't no way you couldn't tell me I was Cosmo's daughter. My daddy was artistic. I have all that. He was swag crazy. Speak his mind, you know what I'm saying? Stand on business, he gonna go for no okie doke in the tailpipe type of stuff. So all those characteristics I have. So ain't no way you could have told me that wasn't my father. I felt I looked like my mom, so I never questioned looking like my dad. But my mom has a gap, my dad has a gap. You know what I'm saying? So naturally, I was like, okay, my mom and my dad got a gap. You know what I mean? And I look more like my mom, so it was never a question. Me and my mom, as far as our makeup and character, are totally different. My characteristics was off Cosmo, so ain't no way you could have told me that was my father. I would have never. I wasn't one of those folks that had a thought that I could possibly have another father. Now, I have a sister from Cosmo that done told me plenty of times, you ain't me and her get into it plenty of times. She done told me, you not my daddy's daughter. But I never took that to heart. I never second thought it, none of it. You know what I'm saying? Because again,
Did he ever make you feel like you wanted to?
my daddy ain't never made me feel like my head was I want his daughter, even if he knew. And again, I feel like that nigga was such a clever nigga. I don't feel like you could just pull no wool over my daddy's head. So even if in his mind, and the same sister who said this, her mother, from what I heard, was going around or then told folks that I want his father, his daughter. So I know she didn't say that to my dad. So even if him hearing that and looking over me 3, 4, 5 times, he stood on, that's my daughter. You know what I'm saying? He left here 3 years before he left here. He gave me a chain, one of his possessions of his jewelry that has his name on it. You know what I mean? He could have. I have several other siblings. He could have gave that to. So even if he thought I wasn't his daughter, he never made me feel like it. He messed with me the long way. Period. You know what I mean? So, and I'm thankful for that. And I really, at this point, I really feel like for this to come out months after I buried my father or my dad, I don't feel like God wanted us to cross that bridge while he was here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I don't think he wanted that to come out. You know, it came out when it was supposed to come out. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's true. Like you said, I mean, we all got, you know, it's a lot of families, and like I said, this is not just a black thing, but everybody got people in the family that's questionable or whatever, or we hear rumors as kids or whatever, So it all upon, you know, along with the person, like you said, Unc never treated you like you wasn't, or never questioned that.
My
so,
dad ain't never made me feel no different, no.
If he did or didn't know, is about how y'all, the relationship y'all had and how he treated you with it.
And he always treated me.
And that. So that made you, you know, you were like bumping on get the DNA thing or whatever.
Well, no, I wasn't. My kids did it. My twins did it.
Yeah, I remember the call you called me and were like, why they don't see you on there or whatever.
He was the first person. Like, I didn't call my mama. I didn't call nobody. This was the first. Yeah. When I hung up for my daughter, this was the first person I called.
I was like, do you reading it wrong? Or is
right,
it,
on my
what's
life.
how you looking at it or whatever, you know what I'm
life.
saying? Because I got a story about how I came on Ancestry, but we'll get to that later.
Yes, and that's something else too.
Yeah, that's another family story or whatever. Yeah, so it kind of shocked me too, but like you said, you know.
It don't change nothing.
It don't change nothing. We've been day one since, you know, A1 since day one.
Since day one.
Say like that.
Yeah,
so.
period.
It's all about
anybody that know us know that. You know what I mean? Anybody know that. So yeah, that can never change. But even with some of my siblings, you know, from my father cosmos, that won't change. Even with them, you know what I mean? When I met my new siblings, one of my younger brothers, C-Stack, I was in South Bend, and the new brother and sisters live in Indianapolis. My little brother Gary, little Gary from my biological father, was having a little kickback at his house in Indianapolis. Man, my brother C-Sack jumped on the highway and came right to Indianapolis so he could meet little Gary and the siblings and all that. And the craziest thing is, two of my sisters, my two younger sisters from Fetch, is my brother C-Stack's cousins. They're cousins. So it's all in the family kumbaya at this point with all of us. You know what I'm saying? Him and my brother Gary politic, they vibe. You know what I mean? It's all love. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm saying this, and I don't care how nobody feel about it. Whomever don't like it, whoever got a problem with it, you was on some bull crap anyway. So move around, Sizzling. That's exactly where I'm at with it. So yeah.
But yeah, that's going to show you, especially in these small towns. You know, me and you both from a small town where, you know, everybody know everybody and everybody.
South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame.
Doing what to what, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We got family members that we don't even know.
True.
That's the importance of finding out who your parents are.
Yes.
Because you could be out here with your cousin, your brother, or
having
your goddamn sister and not even know it. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. And I'm not harping on women, but y'all hold the key.
That's true, man.
Y'all hold the key. You know what I'm saying? We don't. I'm in another situation right now where I don't got the key to find out whatever. That's another episode too, y'all.
And even I got another episode about a key that I have.
Right. So
you know,
women hold the key to finding out who really it is. It ain't just for you know the get the nigga for child support or whatever.
I ain't never put no nigga
for your kids or your grandkids or future generations don't end up going with each other and find out their cousins or brothers and sisters, man. So we got to stop that in the community. It ain't about trying to shame nobody. No. It ain't about doing none of that.
Truth.
You know what I'm saying? The truth is the truth. A person gonna love their parents and ain't gonna thank God if you smart. I don't give a damn how my mama made me or my daddy. I'm here. I'm thankful that they made me.
Absolutely.
So regardless of what the situation was, I'm thankful to them. So you can't be mad at your mother or your father for the situation that brought you in here because they brought you here. They could have let you off on a mattress or flush your ass or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? So be thankful for that.
Real talk though. That's the truth though. So and I am, and I mean, even my mom, she was young. I don't have to hold no grudges with her or feel any type of way. It has been a very emotional journey for me. It really has. Sometimes even with the new siblings, I sit on the phone with them and I talk to them and they get to talking about the father, you know, and just emotionally, I get teary and I get, you know, it's been something. Just, you know, from losing my husband to burying my dad and to finding this out again, and this is all in a year. It has been a I don't even know how to describe it. It has been a real roller coaster ride for me. So.
Yeah, you've been strong with it. You know, that's a hell of a last couple of years you've been through, cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, for you to, you know, be strong and like we said, you got to. You don't have no
Yeah, I'm
choice.
not
Shit, keep moving. You know what I'm saying?
This would have broke the
average kept moving.
Boy.
But going back to that, like when you first told me, the shock of you know, telling me you don't see me on Eric and Ariana Ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
And then you told me who you saw on there. I was like, damn, that's my first cousin on my mama's side.
Yeah.
I was like, one of the Wright brothers. Who I automatically knew who it was. You know, because I know your biological father.
Grew up around my biological
your daddy is my uncle.
daddy
So I know both of them niggas, and they the same type of brothers.
Had to be.
Suave, debonair, you know what I'm saying? Ain't never been no joke. So
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
It all
So imagine two of them and me. That's all I'm
right. That's right. That's why she like she is. Cause she
Man, what?
both Uncle Modi and Fetch.
And
So
mm-hmm.
when you first told me that, I was like, damn, it's Fetch. Now,
He said that.
You know what I'm
said
saying?
that.
Because we've been together around each other forever.
Yeah.
And I know the rights, you know what I'm saying? And I was kind of raised around, you know, Cincinnati and Fetch, you know what I'm saying? So I know them. I know
And
they
Cincinnati is my uncle, which is his
brother,
his cousin.
Right, my cousin Stank.
Like from his mom's side, his father.
Right. So I know them. And your demeanor match Fetch more. Cincinnati a laid back player. Everybody know. You know what I'm saying? Fetch ain't saying like, you know what I'm saying? He was a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Everybody fuck with Fetch. We all know that. So it all made sense.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Got all, you know, I know, because we done had talks before, you ought to wonder why you are the way you are and some aspects of it.
Yeah, some aspects
you know
of
what
how I
I'm
am, as a woman.
A little bit of that you do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This goes back, you know, it goes back to a saying like, even though Cosmo ain't your biological father, you still got it in him because he raised you and you got his ways. That's just like a guy coming and getting with a girl and her kid 2 or 3 years old, and she never really knew her father. She gonna be kind of more like that man than the man she ever knew.
Absolutely.
Now she gonna have certain stuff in her DNA of her real father.
Yeah.
That's gonna stay with you. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
so you got both.
I got
You know what I'm
both.
saying? You got Fetch DNA. You got Uncle Mo. You got damn game.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
And all that stuff. So
Yes, indeed.
both of them are in you.
Yeah.
And,
And these was two cold niggas.
right.
Two
So you
both
came
of them.
really is a blessing. You know what I'm saying?
for
You
real.
turned this, and most people would have laid under it and put their head on the cover.
I
and
did for about
whatever.
a week. I did for about a week.
Right, but
Shitting me.
But you know that helped you. You know the strength for them.
Yeah.
Made you realize why you're strong enough to get through
Oh,
this.
absolutely, and a whole lot of other things that I have conquered in my life, and even moving here to Atlanta. I remember when I moved here to Atlanta, you know, my family did not want me. I had 2 sets of twins when I moved here, and they were young, and my family did not want me to move here. They said you don't need to be moving down there with them kids by yourself. And you know, Chell was here; he the one taught me to move in here. But they was like, you know, you ain't have enough family down there, man. Look, I'm gonna figure it out. I always do. And shit, me and him, we always figure out together. So, yeah, it's all good.
That's what's up. Alright. We got more coming, y'all. More coming.
Yes, thank y'all for tuning in today.
I think we did good.